morning. Welcome to Daylight with Dean number 39. It is May 20th of 2020, so 5/20/2020, I think is how it goes. Great to be with you all this morning. I want to thank all of you for checking in. Also, thank those of you who share this on your Facebook page. So you can invite your friends to experience this as well. Just really delightful to share this time together with you. And if you find it helpful, please feel free to pass it on to anyone. My daughter asked me, who does not get up and watch Daylight with me, she's like, well, Dad, what is it? Is it just like a devotional? Is it just like a sermon? My oldest daughter was here and she said, no, it's just kind of like a video blog of Dad talking. And I was texting somebody yesterday who commented and made a comment on things, a friend of mine, and I just said, well, thanks for enjoying my ramblings and rants. So I don't know how you want to categorize it, but let's make one thing for certain, clear, and sure. I don't go very far into this without my coffee, because when I do, it could get messy. So for the first sip and savory taste of coffee this morning, that's just good stuff. Yesterday was a fascinating day on many, many levels. I had a lot of work to do on my message and stuff for Sunday. In the morning, video call with Mark Helsel, our campus pastor over at our Franklin Park campus of the River. And but Ruby, my youngest daughter, and I had an appointment in Greensburg that we had to go to. And so I had to continue the video conference in the car. And so I'm on my phone, on my video. I have my laptop on my seat. Ruby's driving, and do that just about the whole way into Delmont. And had to wrap that up. So this morning, we are, I just want to tell you a couple things that happened yesterday. So I had so many things packed into that 3-hour window that I had to run these errands before I came back for a board meeting. And so there were just a lot of moving parts. I had to go to an appointment at 1:30. I had to go to DeLello's, Leslie's favorite Italian store in Greensburg. I had to stop at a friend's house and pick some stuff up that he was donating. I had to stop and get my oil change place, had to get them to reset my maintenance a reminder, and just and I had to be back at 3 o'clock. I had a board meeting at 3 o'clock, that I had a video conference call. I had to be back. So I was just like, I got so much going on. So made it to Delmont, and the person that we were supposed to meet with at 1:30 said, hey, can we meet at 1 instead? And I'm like, oh, that messes everything up. And I'm like, but of course we can. And I just realized I wasn't going to be able to get to all those places, do all those things. But we had the oil change place, took a lot longer than it was supposed to. We got to the appointment right at 1 o'clock, and I had allotted an hour for that appointment. And it took probably about 40 minutes, I think. So we got out of there and then headed straight to DeLello's. Now, my youngest daughter has never been to DeLello's, and she said, Dad, what's DeLello's? And I said, well, in New Kensington, we have a couple great Italian markets. And I said, it's kind of like Costa's or Fazio's, but like merged together and on steroids. It's kind of like the Walmart Supercenter or Sam's Club of those places. So when we got there, she's like, oh, Dad, this is like the Whole Foods version of Fazio's and Costa's. But we can't go to DeLello's without getting our favorite bread. This, I don't know how to say the name of it, Talonica bread or something. I call it Swiss cheese bread because it just looks like Swiss cheese on the inside. And it is the most amazing bread that you'll ever enjoy. If you go to Rizzo's Italian restaurant in Crabtree, this is the bread that they serve you at your table. Whew. So Leslie said, buy a loaf, and I said, can I get two? She goes, sure. So I had 2 loaves, and I have this tradition on the way home of diving in with my bare hands and starting to enjoy the bread because it's phenomenal. And and I got home, and my oldest daughter came over, and she's like, what are you guys doing for dinner? And Leslie's like, well, Dad got all this stuff at DeLello's, and you can have any of it that you want. She goes, well, where's this bread? Tell me about this bread. So, and Leslie's like, oh, Dad got 2 loaves. Just take that bread home. It's your bread. And I'm like, I had allotted in my mind the mental enjoyment of this bread for the next week or 2. This morning or last night, Ruby came down. She's like, Dad, where's the bread? I'm like, yeah, we're into the 2nd loaf. Mom already gave it to Zoe. So did that. Then we were able to make it to my friend's house to pick up the stuff. We picked up the stuff we got there, and I had 7 minutes. She goes, Dad, you got 7 minutes because the GPS says it takes this long to get home. You got 7 minutes. I'm like, okay. So we got all the stuff loaded. We left. I pulled into my house at 2:59 for my 3 o'clock Zoom meeting. They knew I was going to be a few minutes late. And then I was on my Zoom call, and Leslie said, well, you had somebody stop by. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, do you know a Dave Gaddy? I'm like, oh yeah, he told me he was going to drop something off. She goes, well, he dropped something off for you and for Brian Baker. And I'm like, okay. And she said, he dropped off these river hats that he had made with our logo and our, on the back of it, it says Dean Ward, lead pastor. On the back of Brian's, it says Brian Baker, associate pastor. And Brian, I haven't had a chance to call you and let you know I got a hat for you from Dave. So that was a great treat as well. One other funny thing happened. The stuff that I picked up, I had a small trailer, and some of it was loose in the back of the trailer, and I was afraid coming home that it might have shifted. So we're sitting at the stoplight at 22 and 66 in Delmont where they intersect, and we're on 66, and there's 2 lanes to my left of traffic that when the light turns green, they'll be turning left and getting onto 22. I'm in the center lane that goes straight, and then there's a lane to my right that goes straight. So we're sitting there, and the light's red, and traffic's going the other direction, and I said, in my mind, I have enough time to hop out of my car, run back to the trailer, make sure the load is secure, and then get back in the car. Well, I don't tell Ruby I'm doing this. So I said, I got to check something. The car is in park. I open my side door, and just as I opened my side door, the light turned green for the left-hand turn lanes, and the truck started moving. So Ruby has that sensation because we're sitting still and that truck is moving forward that we are flying backwards. And she starts to scream, Dad, we're moving, don't go in, Dad. Well, I knew what was happening. So I ran back. I had just a little window of time before my light turned green. Came back, my load was fine, got back in the car, and she's like, Dad, that was terrifying. Don't ever do that again. I started laughing. It's fun to get yelled at by your children whenever you frighten them accidentally. So that was a window of a glimpse into my day between noon and 3 yesterday that I hope that you enjoyed. Now, I said all that to say the thing that surprised me the most, an attitude that I've not talked to you about before, I don't think. What amazed me is that I was able to fit all of that stuff in and a few extra things, and I was still able to make it back at 3 o'clock. Now, when I had it planned in my mind, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to make it work and how I was going to make it fit. But I'm certain I was going to make it work and fit. So I played out all these different scenarios, and I finally had landed on it. I was doing this, and then I got that call, can you move our meeting up a half hour? Now, my first instinct was, that's going to mess up all my plans. But in actuality, it made all of my plans work perfectly. I was able to stop first and have the meeting and then run all of my errands to central Westmoreland County into Greensburg and get all of that done and then make it home in time for my meeting. And so often, the people, in my opinion, that I notice that have the ability to navigate challenging times, they're willing to be flexible. Flexibility is your best friend at times when you need it. And for those of us that love to map everything out and have all the plans ironed out and set in stone and all ready to go, flexibility looks like an interruption, but flexibility can become your best friend. A lot of times I view flexibility as God's way of making things work out the way they need to be, even when I don't realize it. So, all those stories, everything that happened yesterday, the only point that I want to encourage you about is to explore the possibility of being more flexible. Whenever you're flexible, you can shift on the move, you can work things out, you can adjust and adapt, and you can let go the need to control everything and have it all put together, and you can let the Lord rearrange things in His supernatural way for your blessing. Now, it doesn't always come together. Sometimes interruptions and the need to be flexible don't pan out to where everything fits together. There's give and take. But I experience more joy being flexible and choosing to have a good attitude about it than when I'm not. So may you be flexible today and the rest of this week. Thank you guys. Great to be with you. Have a great day.